so sorry.
Tiger, Kobe, A-Rod, these are the latest athletes in a long line to admit to cheating on their wives. John Edwards, Governor Mark Sanford, and, of course, Bill Clinton, just a few of the many politicians whose careers suffered because of infidelity. And celebrities? That list is too long to mention. So why is it that so many men cheat on the women who love them? We'll try to answer that question right now on It's Your Call. Another day, another celebrity caught cheating. Another week, more cheaters apologizing to their loved ones. Why is it that infidelity seems to be an everyday occurrence these days? Is it really that tough for men to remain faithful? Hi there, everyone. I'm Lynn Doyle. It's good to have you with us as we ask that question, why do men cheat? I know, women cheat too, but the people making news about this right now are all men, so hence my topic. We've put a great panel together today to respond to that question and many others. They include an old friend of the show, Dr. Deborah Lano, who is a sex therapist with a practice in Delaware who also consults nationwide. She's the author of a soon-to-be published book, 11 Reasons Why Women Cheat. Back with us as well is George James, who is a staff therapist with the Council for Relationships located in Philadelphia. Joining us for the first time, Scott Shumas is a private detective in the Philadelphia area. I can't wait to hear what he has to say. Rounding out the panel, another old friend, Amy Goldstein, who is a family law attorney with Adenolfi and Goldstein in Haddonfield, New Jersey. Everybody, great to have you with us. We are looking for answers. I hope that your individual experiences collectively will be able to give us one. Deborah, I know that your most recent book is going to be Why Women Cheat, but you have the million-dollar question today. Why do men fool around all the time?
You know, I'm going to kind of just start out with needs, okay, and needs not being met. And I know that, you know, traditionally and historically, the idea is that men have this insatiable sex drive that like can't be controlled. One of the things that I found is that, you know, both men and women need their needs met, and it's so individual with each man and each woman, for that matter. So
are you saying that that is a legitimate theory, that the reason men fool around is because they have a sexual need more so than women might have?
Sexual needs, emotional needs, masculinity needs. The needs can be anything, and a lot of times, you know, that emotional need can actually be transpired or transferred into the idea of masculinity, okay, and what it means to be masculine, and sex and masculinity for men are kind of connected.
It's interesting you bring that up, because you know what I've seen with a lot of men that I've worked with is that traditionally men have learned how to deal with emotional problems through sexual needs, from growing up, from being young boys, whether it's through magazines, whether through prostitution, or just through sexual activity. So now when there's a problem in a relationship, what do? Well, if there's a problem with my partner and we're not having sex, I feel like the only way I can deal with this internal problem is not to do something sexual.
But George, how many times have you heard a woman say, I don't understand why he's straight because we have a great sexual relationship. Why does he need someone else? What is the answer that you give to those women?
Well, see, for a lot of times when there is affairs or cheating in a relationship, there's something else going on. There's often some struggle that's not being talked about. Right. That's not being talked about. Unfortunately, these people are not communicating about their issues. So they think it's great, but on the sidelines, they're telling their friends, they're telling their buddies that it's not right, that something is wrong in our relationship.
And the two of them aren't communicating. And George and I see this, you know, often, because this is what we do in relationship therapy is break that down in the relationship.
Now, what I see when people come into my office is a little bit different, because the reason when people get to me, the lines are already drawn in the sand. Now, when they go to see therapists, I'm assuming it's because someone wants to work on the relationship, or both people want to work on fixing the relationship. Once they get to me, it's probably the opposite, because once the lines are drawn in the sand, people want to make sure that when they get to court, they don't look bad. So all of the fault is then placed on the other party. It's not my fault. It's, and you try to work that out, but we just go with it because that's our job. But no, I'm kidding. But that's really what happens when they come to see us, is that they feel they have to place the blame on the other party and not accept any of the blame.
Yeah, but see, it's Scott who can actually place the blame on the wrong party.
Yes, what I find is most men are as faithful as their options. By the time that they
they come to me, their wives already are speculating that they're having an affair. So then they come to me, and now they want documentation of it, and they want to see what's going. And, you know, they hire me, I go out, and I do the best I can to find out what's going on, who they're with. And women are really interesting because not only when they contact me after I find out all the information, women want to know, well, what does the woman look like? What kind of shoes was she wearing? What kind of dress was she wearing? What kind of handbag?
Right.
She wants the details. So it's a lot more, you know,
and to compare them to themselves, probably.
Yeah.
What does that person have that I don't have?
Well, I love what you said, though, that they are as faithful as their options. And a lot of times what I ask is, why do people get a second chance? And I know in both your practices, a lot of people choose to give someone who's been unfaithful a second chance.
One of the things that we look at with regards to infidelity is more of a symptom of the relationship, which is one of the things that George was saying, is that there is something else going on in that relationship. Like, people don't usually just make that decision or choose to go out and end or cause drama in their relationship if there's not something else that's missing. In addition, I just want to bring in, like, you know, you had mentioned, like, you know, I think magazines or whatever, and the effect of media in all of this. I mean, think about the sexualized society that we're living in and how many, like, you know, comparisons and options there actually really is. And women are now giving it
Catching up.
Yeah, or, you know, giving it up, for lack of a better word, to men in relationships. So it's becoming more accessible.
Yeah, there's probably two classes of cheaters that I see, all right? There's the ones who just, I don't really care. I can do whatever I want. I have the options, and I don't really care if I hurt your feelings. And then there's a second one where there's really a centralized issue in the relationship, and now they're acting out.
Okay, we're talking about this because you just saw that picture of Sandra Bullock, who, as you know, just won an Oscar, and apparently she's fallen under the so-called Oscar curse for Best Actress, because those women all seem to lose their relationships in literally months after winning the award. But we're talking about this because her husband, Jesse James, allegedly conducted an affair for a long time. We've talked about Tiger Woods on the show in the last couple of months, and endless numbers of politicians. The question everyone always says to me is, why is it someone like Sandra Bullock, who seems like she's beautiful, she's wealthy, she's talented, she's got it all, why is her guy cheating on her? You could almost say, okay, the mom at home that has forgotten to shower or shave her legs in a week because she's so busy with the kids, but Sandra Bullock?
Well, you know what?
I mean, come on.
You know what the answer to that is, and I bet that we can all say that, is you do not know what's going on behind closed doors, whether it's Sandra Bullock or the guy next down the street. You think that you know what's going on, you have a perception. We don't know what's going on behind closed doors with these people.
I tell people all the time, you show me the most beautiful woman, and there's a guy who's tired of being with her.
Absolutely.
And they're always
I'm just throwing my hands up then, okay?
Yeah, right?
If Sandra Bullock and Julia Roberts and this Elin Nordgren, who's married to Tiger, if she can't hold on to him, the rest of us are in big trouble.
Okay?
That's what I always say.
You got to look at relationships, the concept of relationships here too. Relationships aren't necessarily made for, you know, Sandra Bullock was away for 11 months, I believe, making that movie. So you can't be out of a relationship and expect the relationship to still be intimate and be away from your partner for that long.
Oh, wait,
it's
I
not
have to challenge that. I mean, come on. I mean, people go to war. These soldiers are fighting for America in Iraq.
How many people, when they go away to war, their partners are having affairs? That happens there too.
I mean, you have an expectation of fidelity if your job takes you someplace, or if you're serving in the military.
You would expect.
Celebrities, they have people knocking down their doors. There are people who are trying to sleep with them. They don't care.
And that's
if they're
part
married.
of the problem. How do they deal with their options? Because if you're in the limelight, there are going to be more people coming to you. And unfortunately, they get to the place where they just get tired.
But conversely, don't you have more eyes watching you? I mean, people might not be watching you every time you walk out the door. Sandra Bullock or Jesse James walks out the door. Everybody knows who you are.
I think part of that
I would think it would be tougher.
I think part of that is that celebrities feel that they don't have to follow the rules the way other people do. You know, if they want to get a seat at the best restaurant in town, they pick up the phone, they get it. If
Which
they
is
want
what Tiger said.
And I'm not justifying it. All I'm saying is they get used to the rules not applying to them, and then they say, well, if these rules don't apply to me, those rules don't apply to me, and it becomes the way that they think, is that the rules that govern regular people don't govern them.
I think as you become a celebrity, you think of yourself a little higher than a regular person. You think you're more sort of godlike, maybe.
Sure.
Especially Tiger Woods.
That's what I'm saying,
right? And they they can do whatever they want.
Right. People treat you that way, and you start believing your own press is basically the expression.
And the other thing is that when we look at it overall as a relationship, there's a lot of things that people maybe are not doing. And so they think that, yeah, they're better than the relationship, and that they think they can get away with things that, unfortunately,